I can improve.
Hey, my name is Bullets, and this is my SUPERHOT Katana-Only race AGDQ 2018 submission with SDF as the other member of this race. SUPERHOT was shown off at SG 2017, the any percent category, which got a very good response, especially on YouTube. So I think it makes sense now that we branch off. This is a slightly shorter category, with still some interesting stuff. As you can see right now, there's differing strategies there, especially with the fact that if you look side, or if you turn your body sideways in this game, your hitbox is actually slightly, not even slightly, it's very squished, which makes it much harder for enemies to shoot you. So jumping down a long corridor, usually you have to dodge left and right, which is really difficult. But turning sideways gives you a pretty good advantage for dealing with that. But anyways, competition-wise, or I guess how close the two of us are, as you can see on the leaderboards, SDF is currently the world record holder for this category, and I am second place, so it'll definitely be a close race. Especially with SUPERHOT runs, there is a very good possibility of a lot of back and forth. It only takes one death on a level for the race to shift who's in the lead right now. It only takes a little mistake. And you also get to see a little bit of variance in strategy. For the most part, the strategy is fairly streamlined, but execution and randomness and just reactions to things going wrong will set apart. And the nice thing about this category, rather than having an any percent race where there's some downtime where, you know, there's the cutscenes that have to play, there's a dialogue you have to skip. The cool thing about the Katana-Only challenge, actually, is that there's none of the intermissions. There's nothing except for the little loading screens in between. So it's very much 10 minutes condensed of just this different perspective of how to play this game, a very different, you know, experience. So even if you've seen the any percent run from last year, one, you're getting the race components, so you get that different perspective, and it's interesting to commentate in that light of, you know, one of us is this many rooms ahead or this many levels ahead, but we're getting to like break right now where there's a lot of, you know, enemies spawn with different weapons. You have to react to that, so one of the players reacting better than the other can tip bounce in that player's favor. So never is one player going to really be knocked out. It would be very difficult for me to even see a full wipe of one player, one person just completely getting knocked out of the race. I doubt that's going to happen. We both put a lot of effort into our runs, and we definitely take this very seriously, so I don't see something like that happening. The cool thing is, as well, other than, you know, the race component, because it's melee only, you open yourself up to all these different strategies, all these different stuff that you don't get to see with any percent. Everything's had to been routed out differently for the most part, because in any percent you usually start with no weapon at all, or you start with a gun. So your approach is a lot different. You don't have to get close to enemies. But in this, you have to get right close to people that have shotguns. And just say, hi, I have a sword. Let's see how this works. So, in that way, I think it shows the game off in a different way. It's not something where, oh, you've seen 80%, so you've already seen everything. You know, you've never seen everything you can see from SUPERHOT. But other than that, really, level by level based, there's a lot to talk about race-wise, like different strategies and approaches and what we're trying to do. Like on this map, we're intentionally staying on this side because when you're close to spawn points, enemies won't spawn from there. So what I'm doing is I'm basically manipulating people to spawn where I want to. So I'll go close to one spawn point so that I know that they'll be spawning the other two, and then I'll go to the other two, and I'll know they'll be spawning the other one. It's little stuff like that. But really, I think it just is an interesting new way to show off the game that people enjoyed. Like there, you intentionally are trying to you strafe into a wall in a specific way so that one of the enemies shoots the other, which is obviously allowed, as long as you're not the one using the gun. And the game forces you to not use the gun. And then you have strategies like this where it's like, it looks slow, but you have to do it so methodically, because if you move even if you move your camera a little bit there incorrectly, even if you click and you miss the enemy, you're done. That level's you're gonna die. This is another challenging level where you'll see where I'm taking it very methodically, trying to get up the staircase because it's very easy to die.
Me accidentally killing people, but...
And there's really not too much more to say race-wise about the run. I think that part's fairly covered. I think it'll be very competitive race, it'll be very back and forth sort of occasion. It's very difficult to have a deathless run in this category, so I think that'll come into play a lot. Levels like this where you can be very aggressive like I am, or you can hold back, lose a few seconds, but you don't have that possibility of dying. Different choices, determining on like you're ahead or behind. And then when hot switching gets added to the mix, like this, it really changes what you're able to do, because when you hot switch into an enemy, which for those that are unaware, hot is an ability you get about halfway through the game, a little bit past halfway actually, where you gain the ability to change into an enemy's body, and you what's it called? Your old body dies, and you basically just become this person. And whatever weapon they were holding, you throw that away. The only problem is your katana doesn't come with you, so you have to work around that a little bit. So when we hot switch at the beginning of this level, the strategy is to throw your katana in a place you'll be able to get it on the wall, and then you switch into the person so that your katana's there, easily accessible.
Because it takes me a while to do
in levels like this, hot switching is more used as a backup or as a safety strategy rather than any sort of plan for it, because it's difficult to... You can manipulate these guys fairly well, but you know, every once in a while they'll just go, you know what, I don't want to play your game anymore, I'm just going to run away like that. And you have to do this like merry-go-round sort of thing. But there's no... RNG can lose you time, but it's not going to drastically just like I said before, it's not going to create a one-sided sort of thing where it's like, oh, this person got red RNG, so they lost like a minute, and now they're out of the race sort of deal. It's rare for you to have, not even rare, it just never really happened too much where you have that bad of a situation happen. And we're both fairly accustomed and good with this challenge, so I think we'll be able to show it off fairly well, and I think we'll enjoy it. Like, that strategy right there, it doesn't look like anything, it looked like I just like slashed a door for no reason, but there's actually an enemy on the other side, and if you like look at a specific like splotch on the door and then you slash, the guy dies. And it takes a little bit to actually like figure out the spot, but it's kind of amusing when you do it, and then this door opens, there's just a guy on the floor that's just dead. It's like, oh, I guess there's a person there. It's also interesting to see a level like this, where it's a fairly challenging level to even do with guns, and then you're forced to use katana. This is probably one of the only levels where, at least in any percent, I use this strategy at the beginning. But
I don't usually do it this
you have to use katana for the rest of it as well, which is a little bit slower, but obviously we don't have a choice. But anyways,
there we go.
Thank you for watching me kind of play around with katanas, and hopefully we can show off SUPERHOT again. I think it'll be a very interesting race, very competitive, a lot of fun.
Too long.
So thank you for watching.
Oh man.